This is the video demonstration for a bank reconciliation. And in this video, I'm going to work the solution to example number 6. Now, on this particular video, I recommend that you actually get the information for example number 6 on the class website and actually print that out. You could probably follow the video just by looking at the information, but because I'm going to have to check certain things off as I go along, I think that this particular problem would be easier for you to follow if you had a hard copy printout to look at as I go through. But then again, if you feel like you could understand it just from viewing the information in the video, you could do that. Now in this case, we have a company called the Foster Company, and it says that they last reconciled their bank account on June 30th, 2012. And it says the following information is available from the July bank statement. So the current balance according to the bank statement is $21,423. Then we have a whole series of various deposits and credits. Then we have a whole series of checks and debits. Then it says the following information is available from the Foster Company books. And according to their records, the current balance is $17,544. And then they have a series of deposits and also checks that have been drawn. Now there's also some additional information here. It says there's going to be an NSF check that is the result of a bad check from a customer. There's a credit memo, which is an amount that was collected by the bank, and it's $1,500 less a $68 fee. And then we also have a problem with one of our checks. We've got a check number 5,905. It was drawn for $988, but it was misread by the accountant and entered as $888. So that'll have to be resolved. So under the requirements, number 1, they want us to prepare the July bank reconciliation. And number 2, they want us to prepare the necessary journal entries in order to correct the cash balance. Now in this case, before we start the bank reconciliation, what we really want to do is look at the information that we have and see what things have been resolved, what things haven't been resolved. So in order to do that, you might want to have a hard copy and check these off as I go along, or I'm going to make notes on the screen. So first thing I'm looking at my deposits. Now down here, it says this information is from my books, and I have these deposits. And I see 5 different occasions where, according to our records, we went to the bank and deposited money. I want to see if all these are showing up on my bank statement. So for example, I made a deposit on July 4th for $1,200. Well, right there it is, July 4th, $1,200. So I'm going to put an asterisk there because that means that that particular deposit that we made is showing up in both places. Then I made a deposit on July the 6th for $2,250. Well, on the bank statement, there it is, July the 6th, $2,250. So I'm just going to put a mark next to these to show that these are things that I don't have to worry about because they're matching up. Then I made a deposit on July 9th for $4,075. July 9th, $4,075. So it looks like we're in pretty good shape on most of our deposits. Then I made a deposit on July the 21st for $2,350. July 21st, $2,350. So that works. That's matching up. So it looks like we're in pretty good shape. Then I have a deposit that I made on July 30th, $1,555. I actually don't see that on the bank statement. I don't see that amount. So that $1,555, I'm going to put a question mark there because there's a problem there. I don't see that showing up. We're going to have to account for that. Now there's also a couple things up here that don't match up. I see $25 IN. Well, that stands for interest. I don't see that listed down here on my deposits. So that's a problem. I'm going to have to address that. And then I also see that $1,432 CM credit memo. I'm going to put a question mark there because again, I don't see that. So basically I'm just looking at deposits here and deposits here and seeing how they match up, how they're different. Now, I also want to do the same thing for checks. I've got checks and debits here, I've got checks here. I want to compare those two and see how they match up. Maybe they match, maybe they don't. So the first check that I wrote was check number 5,901 for 1,843. Well, up here, 5,901 for 1,843. So that one matches up. That one's okay. Then I see a check that I wrote, number 5,902 for 750. I go back up here, I see check number 5,902, 750. So that matches up. So any of these that match up, that's a good thing because that means I don't have to worry about it. Then I see a check number 5,903 for 333. And there's 5,903 for 333. And as I check these, it's good to not only check the check number, but also the amount. I do want to check both of those. Then I've got check number 5,904 for 2020. I don't actually see that one here. So that one looks like an outstanding check that hasn't cleared the bank yet. Then I've got this one for 888, check number 5,905. Up here I have 5,905, but look at this. It's not matching up. 988, 888. So that one's a problem. So I'm going to put a check mark or a question mark there. That one's not looking right. Then I've got check number 5,906 for 857. I see up here, do I see that one? A check for 857. I don't see that one. So that's another outstanding check. Then I've got check number 5,907 for 210. Is that one matching up? I do see that one, 210. I'll put an asterisk there. 210, I'll put an asterisk there. Then I've got check number 5908 for 233. 5908, 233, that's matching. So I'll put an asterisk there. Then I've got a check number 5,909 for 1,700. I don't see a $1,700 check, so that one is a problem. So I'll put a question mark there. And then do I see anything else up here? Well, I do see right here this NSF, that non-sufficient funds check. I didn't know about that one. So I'm going to have to put a question mark there. So basically, like I said, it's easier to do this on paper where you just check these off. But I'm just putting, an asterisk there for everything that matches up, a question mark for the things that don't match up. And I do that in advance because that's going to make the actual bank reconciliation go a lot easier.